Hello, this is Yvette with Superpower School. I'm a positive living maestro, and I founded this benefit company because in 2020 I realized through the death of my brother, and 3 weeks later, my husband, and a few months later, my mentor, and my company also fell apart. I had a successful wedding catering company in the Redwoods in Northern California, and of course, the pandemic wiped that out as well. After having a life of lots and lots and lots of bumps in the road, lots of trauma, one thing was clear. I always smiled and pretended like nothing was wrong. And I would melt down in private if I ever did allow myself to melt down at all. And it created a whole bunch of health crises for me. They all seemed to manifest at the same time in 2020 when I was most alone in my life. And while I was on my deathbed for a year, I went to traditional therapy for help because I woke up one morning and my whole body was paralyzed. Not really paralyzed, but in so much pain that it hurt to move. That's more realistic. Sorry about that if you've been paralyzed. I don't mean to belittle that. But I woke up and everything hurt so bad that I just couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't turn over. I could just lay there and cry. That's all I could do because all this trauma from way back in my early days of life all of a sudden became my reality. I had blocked everything, didn't realize what was going wrong in the past to the point where it made me stop and face it, and I almost died. So I went to a therapist, started to work on things that I didn't work on before, and bringing up all that trauma was just awful. It just debilitated me even further. Then all of a sudden, I was not a 54-year-old dealing with a pandemic. I was a 3-year-old stuck in child mode, and I would just cry all day. It made no sense. I wasn't healing. I was only traumatizing myself more. My body was already in crisis, and that was the worst thing I could do. So while I was laying in bed for that whole year, I learned to meditate. And while I was getting my nervous system calm to survive through this crisis, I remembered my positive psychology education from years before. And I realized that there was something I could do for myself, and that was to, one, acknowledge the trauma, no, not shove it under the rug anymore, which was already happening. I didn't have a choice at this stage. And then two, celebrate what I could do to get past it, and celebrate the fact that I'm still alive, and celebrate the fact that I have tools and I can learn how to be better. So I set about researching all the stuff I'd learned, pulled up all my old files in school, and started to read. And I learned about resilience, which I've got tons of, but not everybody does. And I also learned about well-being, which I had nothing about that. I was terrible at taking care of my body. And then mindfulness was another thing that I needed to learn about. So I only had one leg on my stool intact. I was resilient, but that was killing my body. And so I needed to learn how to be mindful. And I also needed to learn about well-being. So I had to eat right. I had to get enough rest. I had to prioritize downtime. I had to say no. I had to learn how to focus on my limits, and I'm talking about body limits, not just mind over matter. That wasn't going to work anymore. And once I realized that this was the way to go, I hugged my therapist and I thanked her so much for what she had done to bring up the past for me, which I had to do. And then I also remembered the words of my mentor who died. And he said, set a timer and grieve for that time about whatever's upsetting you, whatever's making you angry or upset. Give it time. Not very much though. And I look at it like 10%. That's it. You get 10% to dwell and wallow in your misery like Eeyore on Winnie the Pooh. And then the rest of the time, the other 90%, you focus on what can you do about it, and how can you get over it, and how can you be a rock star and a superhero to your own life and get past it and use it as a catalyst. And the story that I like to share is about a donkey. There's this farmer, he's got this old donkey, and he decides that the donkey's just not worth anything anymore, so he's digging this big hole. He finds this old well, and he shoves the donkey in there, and he's going to bury him alive. So he starts scooping the dirt over him. He's feeling a little bit bad about it, but not bad enough to stop killing the donkey. But what he doesn't realize is deep down at the bottom of the well, the donkey's using every scoop of dirt as a step up. So he throws in a scoop, and the donkey takes another step up. Before he knows it, the donkey is walking out of the well when it's nice and full of dirt. So that's what we have to do. We have to take our crises and we have to face them and then manage them and make them work for us so that we can become better people for it. We don't want to take it out on our loved ones. We don't want to take it out on our bodies. We don't want to lose our minds. We want to be well and we want to thrive, and that's what humans do. So that's my story. Once I figured that out, I suddenly woke up one day with this beautiful epiphany about how to set up a benefit company to help everybody in a very affordable way either have a business teaching others or being a member where they can come and have therapy for a fraction of the price of regular therapy, and way more effective because you go home with tools right away and immediately feel better instead of waiting 6 months to see some progress, which is hard to do when you're already down on your luck. So at Superpower School, as members, you pay $250 a month for the whole month, not the week, the whole month. And you get to come together for an hour, hour and a half. If you have a business, there's a marketplace where you can sell your stuff before and after the meeting, so you make some money there. So that's really already a good deal financially. And if you're a community interested person, then there's also a community aspect where we contribute part of our revenue to local community action. And we all know that giving is one of the best ways to feel better when you're down. So everybody wins on that end too. We also have a mentoring program where if you're a senior or you're someone who's feeling marginalized and you have lots to share, this is a place to come and be part of a group. And we pair you with someone who's young or in need, and then you have this neat little buddy system. This seems to work really well with people who are suffering from some form of addiction, which I was the person who was a workaholic. So for me, being around somebody else who might be an alcoholic, we can help each other because the addiction's the same no matter what it is. If it's drugs, video games, working, being lazy, whatever you're addicted to, candy, sugar, whatever, it's all the same. It's the same issue. It's just a different crutch. So we work on that a lot as well. So when you join as a member for $250 a month, you have access to all these things. There's no extra charge for any of that. Later on, we'll be adding a children's program as well, so then you can have a whole family dynamic. If you're a part of a family and you and your spouse or a sweetie or a sibling or whatever want to join, then we offer a discount so that you can come together and help each other in an exponential way. The other way that you can get involved is to start a chapter of your own, which is really what we want. We want to make sure we spread the word wide, far and wide, far and wide. We provide the curriculum, so wherever you attend a chapter, it's always the same lesson each week. So you're guaranteed to be receiving sound, science-based positive psychology from positivepsychology.com. And lifestyle experts will also join us here and there, sprinkle in some variety. But you can count on the curriculum being solid and based on tested, proven, APA-approved therapy stuff. It's going to be a willy-nilly situation. You don't have to worry about that. So the difference is chapters are going to have their own personalities because, for example, Gerard Patman owns the chapter in Portland, and he has a military background and an addiction background. So he's focusing on more of a lovely, kind of a quirky style of facing addiction, and his crash recovery protocol is incredible for overcoming any form of addiction. It's a diet and lifestyle program that he offers with his area of expertise. Now, when I tend to have a chapter, my style will be more Mother Henny, where I'm going to be the huggy one and the let's cry together type. So it just really depends on who you are when you buy a chapter, and that's the beautiful thing about it. It is your business. And we set it up so that you'll recover your initial investment within a year. All you have to do is trust us to give you the right curriculum. We'll handle the marketing. We give you a full training retreat. We teach you how to take care of yourself first, and then we go into all the business side of it. And by the time you're done, you feel fantastic, and you go home ready to rock and roll. And then we have an annual summit as well, where we celebrate our wins as a whole group. Everybody involved with Superpower School, all the chapters all over the globe will meet, and we'll have wonderful speakers and just a really great time. So we're excited to share all this with you. Our first chapter in Portland is a hybrid group. So that's the one you can join for $250 a month as a member. And you can sit in your fancy sofa, or you can come to a physical space in Portland if you'd like, either way. And then we're also taking 5 more chapter captain owners for training in March. So if you'd like to start your own business, it's quite affordable for what you get back. We're really proud of that. We want to be part of the solution. We're not interested in getting money grubby rich. We just really want to have a happy species, and we know that you can be part of that. So please reach out to us quickly if you're interested in either of those things. Our website is going up right now. I'm working on it today, and it's got a little glitch to it. It's superpowerschool.org, and it's through WordPress. You can also go to Facebook. There's a group there called Superpower School Co-ed, and there's a women's only group called Superpower School. So please check us out, find out more about us, and if you need more research on me as a human being, you can go to YvetteTroyna.com. That's spelled YvetteTroyna.com. Hope you're having a great day. It's good to talk to you.